Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the New York Bass Youth Program's Hofmann Hot Dogs Highlights. This is a weekly program we put out every Wednesday or so where we go over what's going on in the New York Bass Youth Program. This week, we had our second, but our actually first tournament for this season, our first high school tournament, our team trail tournament. This one, these team trail tournaments get all of our best anglers out there, and man, the anglers really performed. This weekend, we were on Conesus Lake. We had about 12, 13, 14 boats there. And we had three teams weigh in over 20 pounds of fish. One team had like 23 pounds by 9:30 in the morning. Unbelievable stuff. These kids are just incredible anglers. So tonight we have Matt and Rain from Pittsburgh, New York. They fish for the Pittsburgh team there. And we have Ethan and help me out, Mike. Caleb from Corning Painted Post. Thanks, Mike. A little late on the intake there. But we're going to talk to them tonight about the tournament. We're going to kind of go over some of their strategies, hear some of the stories about what went on. But these are two high school teams that went on Conesus Lake and put over 20 pounds of fish in the boat. So, Rain and Matt, how did the tournament start out for you guys? Did it start out with a bang, or was it a slow start? How'd it go?
Well, it was an awful start, even though we had 18 pounds by like 8. I broke off 2 like baits, like first 3 casts. Like I got piked. They like toothed it off. It was sad.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, it started out really slow. It was just tough, and then Rain started catching them like back to back to back, and then that's what kind of set the rhythm off, and that's kind of what started it.
Cool. Now, Caleb and Ethan, you guys, this is your first tournament with us, and you really started with a bang. I mean, that was just awesome. How did you guys start out during the day? Was it a little slow, or did you just start, ripping them in early in the morning?
Well, it was pretty slow in the morning. Then midday, it got even a little slower. And then at the end, like, we knew if we wanted to keep second, because the team in third was catching up behind us, that we were going to have to start, like, just going a little harder, like different places, stuff like that. So we switched spots and then started catching a couple more, which helped us out a lot.
Cool. How about you?
Go ahead.
Early on it was slow. Caleb got a nice 2-pounder in. I caught a 3.5-pound smallie. But other than that, the morning was real slow. Like what Caleb was saying, it was before afternoon where we started to catch some fish and start landing them. So
cool. So I happen to be a boat captain for this event. So I was on the water, obviously, same time you guys were. Being at the pre-spawn, we've had some crazy weather here in the state. Kick off the season, a lot of our lakes got in like late April, got up in the 60s. Then we had cold weather and rain finally hit us. So obviously that water cooled down. So that, we had a pretty diverse day too on top of that, with the water temp swinging around early in the week. I from guys that were pre-fishing or had been out the weekend before, I heard we by the event day had pretty much brought the water temperature back up about 10 degrees. And it was about mid 50s by the end of the day at the event. So the fish were kind of confused. They were lost. You see fish doing all sorts of things. There was, the kids that I was with in the boat actually caught some smallies on beds. What did you guys see, Ethan and Caleb? What did you guys see as the day progressed? Because we went from windy start, that we got slick calm, and then the wind picked back up at the end. So talk to us like what you guys saw and how that progressed through the day.
Well, actually, where we were, the lake was about 60 about the whole day. When we first got out there, maybe like 57, 58. Then it went up to 60. Look, we did see like a few fish like here and there in the water. We tried to like pitch them or something, but none of them would bite. We never saw any fish on beds or anything like that.
Sure. Ethan, just expand on that. Did you guys catch, you guys said you didn't see any on beds or anything. So obviously your guys are probably making those long casts. That water in Conesus is pretty clear across the board. How are you guys targeting the fish that you guys ended up putting in the boat?
So when we first started off, I had Caleb throwing a drop shot, and I was throwing a underspin with a swim bait trailer, and we were not catching anything. So we made a switch and we tied on some jigs, and we just started flipping docks, what we do best. And we started putting them in the boat by that way. So we just stuck with that and just kept grinding with jigs the whole day.
Cool. Was there anything unique about the way the fish were holding on them? Were they at the ends, dock fishing, as simple as it sounds, can be pretty dynamic sometimes. Was there any things that got you some extra bites throughout the day? Anything special you did?
Yeah. When I was pitching up under docks, I would bring it out and they weren't eating it right up under the dock. Most of the fish I caught, I saw them out, and it was about, I would probably estimate about 3 feet from the dock. That's when they were starting to bite it. But when I saw them come out, I give my rod a couple of taps just to get my trailer flicker in, and they would pick it up. And it was like a super, super soft bite. Like the only way you'd have known they were there is their line moving in the water. So
interesting. No, that's cool. Great insight there. Moving over to Rain and Matt here. Obviously, like you said, you put some bigger fish in the boat pretty early on in the day as we were watching the Connect Scout leaderboard. How were you guys targeting some of the fish that you guys caught?
We just went to like places where there was a lot of rocks, like known places where we know there's like 4.5s like doping around, and we know the rocks heat up really fast with the sun, so they stick to the rocks. So we were just covering as much bank as we could with nice rocks on the bottom.
Cool. Did you guys flip any docks? Did you catch them more off, obviously up shallow? Would you catch them more off the bank or real up in the dirt on those rocks?
It was kind of an off bank deal. Like we were in like 2 foot of water, like not we weren't throwing at the bank. We were kind of throwing like parallel to the bank a little bit, like across the front of the docks.
Cool. So Matt, what was some of the baits you guys were keying on with to catch those fish that were holding on the rock?
Rain was getting them on chatter baits and different baits like that, just those moving constantly. And then I was actually catching them on the Ned rig and some more bottom baits,
Cool. So you guys kind of had 1-2 punch type of setup.
Exactly. Actually, all my fish actually came off of beds that like we saw, like that 5-pound smallmouth that I caught, that was off the bed. Actually, that was like I casted way off of it, and he actually ate it like way off of the bed, which was kind of weird. But yeah. So
it was crazy. His fish was nuts. Like this was the stupidest bed fish I've ever seen someone catch ever. Like this picture of bed, like we're power pulled down, and there's a bed like 3 foot in front of our boat, and the smallmouth, we know it's big. He just darts off like 30 feet to the right of us. Matt like throws like a full overhand cast, and he eats it. Like that's not normally how you catch a bed fish. And it was completely random, but we take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially fish like that, you don't complain when they eat the Ned rig like that.
Oh no, you don't.
So that's awesome. Bouncing back to you and Ethan and Caleb. Obviously you kind of stuck to your roots. It sounded like stuff you guys are very confident in. Now, what area of the lake would you guys focus on? I know a lot of our teams that I noticed on the water we're at the northern end. Did you guys target the north end or the south end of the lake?
The south.
Cool.
That's where it was warmer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. Now, obviously, flipping the docks, Ethan, like we were talking about. Let's get a little further into dock fishing because, like I said, I think it's very important that people realize how tough it can actually be. We even flipped some docks and saw a lot of fish shallow, but to get most of those fish to bite was tough. Do you think it was like you guys were fishing docks that had a lot of long, shallow, flat before deep water, or a lot of those docks that were actually had deep water access right near them? Do you think that played a role, or those fish were just all sliding up and headed that way anyways?
Those fish, I think they're going up on bed. A lot of those fish were pretty shallow, like 1.5 to a foot we were catching. But kind of added on to what Rain was saying, like we were fishing sandy areas throughout the morning and we didn't see any fish. So we made a move up the lake more and we saw a lot more fish than what I patterned was. They were all like rock. It was a lot of rocky bottom or like someone would have a boat launch in their backyard and they would have a cement pad and there would be fish on that. And once we kind of patterned that out and we started looking at the graph and it would show up shallow, there's a rocks. Then sometimes there would be a sand stretch. It would go back to rocks. Then a big drop off with a weedy mat. So we are targeting the top of those drop offs with jigs and drop shots. And that was pretty much right about 4 feet in front of the docks. So that's how we were getting most of the bites.
That's a really good insight. The viewers definitely appreciate that because, you guys are all top level anglers in the state. And obviously you guys coming right in to the first event of the trail and really knocking the socks out of them. So congratulations to both of you guys. Rain, Matt, I don't know if we said it. You guys had about 23 and a half pounds. And then Caleb, you guys had about just over 20 pounds. Really good days for, like I said, the weather's been crazy. Fishing's been up and down. And things are just starting to stabilize again. So very well-earned bags, without a doubt. Chris, you got any other questions?
Yeah, I know one of the captains lost their favorite Duck Unlimited hat during the tournament. He was all crestfallen. You guys have one go on during the day? Someone actually bite into a moldy sandwich or something. You have anything like that go on in the boat? You could tell our listeners.
Go ahead.
I think so.
Caleb, you guys have anything good happen?
Other than a couple fish biting and going to set the hook and ripping their trailer off and knowing that could have been the fish that put us closer to reining them. But other than that, no soggy sandwiches, no losing hats. So.
How about you, Matt and Rain? Did you guys have anything other? You guys always have an adventure, usually, it seems like. So,
I mean, Rain lost a pretty big one.
Yeah, I lost a really good one, probably like 6.5 pounds. Like,
and we saw a big one on a bed too, and that just got spooked off too.
Yeah, there was like a big smallmouth between like two old dock like pole, like two big cement circle dock poles. It must have been like 6.5, 7 pound smallmouth, but it was just very spooked. It's obviously old smart fish, but yeah. But like the funny story was, it was probably like, I don't know, 8 or like 7:30ish, and I just whip a cast and I had one. I knew it was big. It like jumped as soon as I caught it, and then right as soon as it got next to the boat, like I'd say it was like right in front of the trolling motor. Like I saw my hook was in the outside of its mouth, like just barely, and it came off. Like it was 100% 6-pounder too. It was awful, but yeah, if that's interesting.
That one will make you think about it for a night or two. I know we had on top of losing a hat, we blew up a rod in the last cast. That was one that would have helped them. So apparently you guys had the uneventful days. I dealt with all sorts of stuff. I think I got hit with the bait too in the back of the head. So, but you guys obviously fished very clean across the board. And made it count still, even with some of the little tiny mishaps. So like I said, great job to you guys. And our next event next weekend, Niagara River, third event of the trail, second event of the season for you guys. You guys, Caleb, Ethan, you guys gonna join us this event? I remember you guys said you might not be.
I don't think so.
Coach was saying it's a little too far out of our way, so we should be at the Oneida tournament though.
Cool. Yeah, and that'll be our state qualifier for the season, obviously, on Oneida June 5th. So that'll be an exciting event to see you guys come out and put all your eggs in the basket and see what you can come out with at the end of the day. Rain, Matt, you guys got any thoughts on Niagara coming up? I think you guys will be there, you said.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Matt has never fished it, and I've fished it once. But the one time I went there, which was last fall, we had like 24 pounds.
So you probably got some high hopes for it, I would assume, after a good day like that.
Well, I don't know. Smallmouth are stingy creatures, and I don't know. It's either if you miss them, it's either you get like 20, 23 pounds or you don't. It's really hit or miss.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Well, like I said, we'll be looking forward to seeing everyone at the next events here, and thanks for joining us tonight. Chris, I'm going to close this out.
Yeah, well, we want to give a big shout out and a thanks for Ethan and Caden and Rain and Matt to come on out to our Hofmann's Hot Dog Highlight. This coming weekend, we do have a junior tournament starting up this weekend. It should be a great time on Sandy Pond. We'll probably get some juniors on next week and hear what's going on there. But again, we want to thank all of our sponsors and especially Hofmann Hot Dog. They've been handcrafting the world's finest hot dogs since 1879. So thank you to Hofmann's Hot Dogs, and we'll look forward to talking to y'all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.